Hello traders, hope you are very well. Today we are going to talk about volume profile. This is an introduction video to volume profile. It's going to be a couple of videos. I will add them to a playlist as well. You can watch it both on the website, in Trading In-Depth website as well, and also from YouTube. And I'm very glad that we finally are creating this video. I was looking forward to this for a long time, and nevertheless, we are finally here. So what we are going to cover today is what is volume profile. Then we are going to cover why volume profile is so important. Why should you invest some time to learn this basically new tool and use the new strategies, like basically experiment new things and then use it in your daily trading. Um, then the third thing we are going to cover is volume profile versus traditional volume. We are going to compare these two against each other, see why do we need another volume tool because we already have one. Why do we need to use volume profile? And then the fourth thing is volume profile terminologies. Before we basically, this is where the series starts, because you need to know a lot of terminologies. Not a lot, but actually there are a few terminologies you need to know, so you can understand and identify different levels before we talk about how you can use it in different strategies and different situations. So let's begin. What is volume profile? Volume profile is a charting feature or indicator that shows the amount of traded volume of an asset over a certain period of time at each specific price levels. If this sounds a bit complicated, don't worry at all. In a few seconds, we're going to the examples chart, and I will show you exactly what I mean by all of these. The simpler version of the whole thing that I read is traded volume at each price. So volume profile is showing us how much volume has been traded at each specific price level. Let's go to the example and we basically discuss it here. So as you see here, we have the volume profile with this weird colorful shape here, if you are seeing it for the first time. And this is a basically histogram of the, each histogram shows the traded volume at that specific price. If we say, okay, 36,000, how much trade has happened at this price level, you see that this is actually the highest trade that happened in the whole range that we are basically seeing on the chart. So yeah, this is it. And on each price level, you can see exactly if it's like the highest, if it's the lowest. So at 42K, for example, you can see we don't have that much volume transacted. You can go and see what happened during that time. You see that, okay, the price went through this level and we had two small weeks. Again, here we have like a lot of low volume places. You see again the price went through it, and then there are places that are a lot of volume happened around, let's say 58K. If you just extend it, go through it, you see, okay, price went through this level up and down a lot. Okay, so that's why there are a lot of volumes happening here. So again, volume profile shows the profile in the x axis, okay, in a vertical way. And yeah, that's it. So the next thing we are going to discuss is why volume profile is so important. Why should you invest so much time to learn this and use it in your trading? There are a couple of reasons. There might be more, but these are the reasons that came to my mind. The first thing is because volume profile tells us exactly which price levels were previously most important for the big players who dominate the market. So yeah, this is like, if you just watch these levels, there are like billions of volume happened at each of these like sections that are out. So there are definitely retail traders here, but retail traders probably are not significantly influencing these levels, because we know that these are billions and billions, and probably high probably the institutions or bigger players had much more influence on these levels. They bought or they sold at these prices, so that's why we are seeing these big levels that are out, or there was no like trading happened from them. So yeah, that's what's the reason. And you can use volume profile to understand which levels are more important for the bigger players, and you generally want to play with bigger hands. That's why you need volume profile. We can find the support, resistances, and possible retest points. Yeah, we are going to talk about it more, but we can generally find support and resistances and possible retest points with volume profile. It gives us high probable areas to look for a bounce, turnaround, or any kind of reaction at least. The next thing is it helps us to understand the context behind the market moves. And I will discuss this more in the next video, where we are going to cover the auctions and how to understand the auctions and the ranges and all of those things. So you can understand all the context behind the moves. And then it can help us identify our invalidation and stop loss. So imagine if you have a strategy, you have even something out, you have a strategy even outside of like volume profile with something else. You can even use volume profile to find your invalidation or stop loss. So it's very useful. Obviously, it gives you a lot of strategies to trade off of volume profile alone, and then you can even mix volume profile with other confluences that you might have, and that's where it gets much more useful. And then you have one layer of confirmation on top of what you already have in your trading arsenal, and that can give you more confidence. You can have less invalidation points. It's like it's like a cheating. Like if someone tells you exactly what is going to happen when the price might turn around, and all of those nice things that you want to know. Yeah, so let's now go to the next thing that we are going to cover, which is volume profile against the traditional volume. What is the difference between volume profile and traditional volume? As I said, in volume profile, we have the volume on the x-axis. So you see the volume that transacted at each price level. But on traditional volume, you have the basically volume. Let's show it here in this example. So here, as I said, you have the x-axis here, which shows you the volume profile and all the amount of trades that happened at each price level. You see that, okay, at 57,500 there was a lot of volume transacted. Price went through that level a lot of times. Then there are levels that has much less volume. You see only price has 2 points, like in this level. Obviously it has much less volume. But on the other hand, like there is no time involved here. Okay, there's no. It's only price, price and time, price and volume. Okay, what price? How many volume has been traded? But on the other side, the traditional volume tool, like if you add the volume normal indicator that everyone uses, what happens, it shows you, this is a daily chart. What it shows is that it shows, okay, for example, how much sell happened at each price level, actually at each time, at each day, because it's a daily chart. Okay, I hope I didn't confuse you. But again, the traditional volume shows how much volume happened at each time interval. For example, if you're on a daily chart, each candle shows you how much volume has been traded on each candle. Here you see it's the highest one, then you have this one. So So you can go and check, okay, around these regions, I don't see it exactly, but around these regions, probably this one, there was like the second highest volume happened on this day, which is between April and May. And then here you see like a sell volume increase here as the days go on, and this was the basically the highest. But there are no price levels involved. And here, if you see, this candle started at around 54, 55 ish, and then ended at around 30,000. So all this volume is the cumulative volume, the traded volume that happened from 45K to around 30,000 on this day. Okay, you don't know how much exactly happened at each price point by looking at this one, but when you look at this, you will understand, okay, which area was the highest transaction. But obviously this is not looking at time, so you are seeing the cumulative volume that happened over this period of time that you are seeing on this the whole chart and at each price level. There are ways that you can narrow it down. We are going to cover that in the next video. So if you are interested, yeah, subscribe and wait for the next video, which is going to come out very soon. Yeah, that's the difference between volume profile and traditional volume. The traditional is on the y-axis, just tells you how much volume happened relative to the other days actually on each interval based on the interval that you selected. If it's a 1 minute chart, if it will show you the traded amount on 1 minute chart. If it's a 1 day chart, it will show you the traded amount on the 1 day chart relative to the other ones. The same, it's the relative as well here on the volume profile, but it's on the price level. Okay. The next thing is the terminologies that we are going to discuss, and here is where everything actually starts. So we have a couple of terminologies. The first one, and I'm gonna basically read them, and then I will go to the chart and I will show you exactly what I mean. So first we start by these two. High volume node, or HVN, is a point in volume profile where there is a significantly higher volume than average. Okay, high volume node, significantly higher volume. Lower volume node, or LVN, is a point in volume profile where there is significantly lower volume than average. Okay, let's go back to it, to another chart, to another example, and show you what I mean. So if you see here at around 35,800 ish, you see that there is a big histogram out. It shows that we have a HVN, it's a high volume node. There has been a lot of volume transacted, and again, as you go through it, you see that price actually went through this level a lot. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can count it. It's just a lot. So that's why the volume has built up over this price level. On the other side, yeah, we have another HVN here at around 58K. And then you have LVNs, the low volume nodes, you see at around 42K. You have just a couple of wicks and one region that just price went through. There are not much more volume transacted. Again, there is another one at around 52K ish that the price blasted through that level as well. And then at around 60K, yeah, here there is another volume. Actually, there's not much volume. There is some volume transacted at all-time high, then didn't got any follow through, then it came back to an area with more interest, okay, with more interest of transaction. So price usually tends to go towards an area that more transactions happening, okay. And on LVNs and HVNs, price usually doesn't spend that much time. Okay. uh, yeah, so generally when price goes to an LVN, it goes back up. When it goes to an HVN, it goes back up. Sometimes it goes through that, like here, but it doesn't spend that much time. If you go back and see this area, you see that the price just blasted through this level, didn't spend that much time. It just went through it because probably there was not so many um, limit orders waiting there to be filled. So if something happened, it just went through that. Yeah, so these are LVNs and HVNs. We have value area, which is also called VA. Value area is where 70% of the volume is located in the volume profile. And it is being determined from the surrounding nodes of POC, which I will explain. Just ignore this for a second. Uh, Value area is basically where there is 70% of volume basically, yeah, transacted. Okay. Yeah, I will show you here. So you see that there is a line. uh, from this line you see that it is like the colors are more popped out in this section of the chart, and then here it's like a disabled section. It's just less colorful, let's say it that way. And then from here you have the volume. The whole section, this whole colorful section, is value area, and in this section 70% of the whole transactions that you see in the whole chart happened at just these price levels. So if you see, okay, the price was around these regions from 60K, and then came back down and then started trading from 42K to 30K. And then after that, it started to have a range in these two regions. So if you now get the whole volume profile as we did, you see that there are 70% of volume of these whole trading time from May something. 70% of volume, trading volume, happened around this region. So this is our value area. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go back here, and we have two value areas. We have value area high, and we have value area low. Okay. Value area is the highest point in the value area section. Value area low is the lowest point in the value area section. Okay, very simple. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So value, like again, we have the value area, that line. Okay. So here it started, here it ended. The highest part of value area, okay, the whole thing is value area. The highest part is value area high. The lowest part is value area low, okay, or VAL as value area low, VAH as value area high. Yeah, then you have point of control, which is the highest volume node on the volume profile. The point of control is the longest volume bar on the volume profile, and there are lots of volume transacted there. Okay. What do I mean by that? If you see here, we have the big HVN, right? So this is actually the longest histogram bar that we have here in the whole volume profile section. You see, even if you go back up here, you don't have that much volume compared to this. These are all relative. So, and then even here, you have a lot of volume, more than this, but it is still not as high as this. So this region, this 36-ish thousand region, is the point of control of the entire visible range on the chart. Okay, and point of control means exactly that it had the highest transactions at that price level. So when the price is, let's say price goes down, and then it comes back up at this to this region, you expect to see some sort of reaction at that level. Okay, so you see price came here and then came back up. As soon as it hit this level, it got rejected and it went back to closer areas to the value area low. And then it came back up again, then it couldn't pass and hold this level, then it went back again. Okay. The same is with the value area highs and lows. These are also acting as support and resistance. When the price is below these levels, they act as resistance. You see, again, came around this value area high. Even before reaching it fully, it didn't have, no one basically followed up the move. So it came back and then it just retraced down to the, a whole rotation to the value area low. Then you see a rotation to the point of control. So it's very useful when you look at it this way. Okay, let's go back to our terminologies. And you have areas that are called clearance. Okay, a clearance is an area in the volume profile in which only LVNs are located and there are no HVNs on that area. Okay, let's just go back to the chart and show you what I meant here. So if you see here, we have a clearance. Okay, so we have like a lot of low volume nodes all together and it forms a region. And you see that that price went through this level. Okay, there are not, as I said before, there are not so many transactions happen at these price points. And again, here it might happen at the tops as well, depending. This visible range obviously is not the whole price action, and we have transaction above this as well. But if it was, there was no transaction, price might basically create another clearance and just it breaks out. Or here it might break down with creating another clearance. Okay, but that's possibility. Or it might come here and then when no one is selling, then it goes back up. If there are a lot of sells, when it comes here, then it goes down. But if it's like comes here and there's no sell, it goes back up. So you have a clearance here, and clearances are areas which price has a more tendency of basically quickly acting on those. Okay, because it's a lot of LVNs, it either goes back to the previous range or it goes fast through that. Okay, it doesn't spend so much time there. Okay, it's usually like that, but there are times that you see, okay, clearance over time transforms into a like a higher volume section, maybe something like that. It takes time, or it might be an important level which that happens, or price builds a local range and then the volume increases. We have two more terminologies to cover, but these are less important, and these are more important for like scalp traders and day traders. You can use it on higher time frames, but on higher time frames, I personally don't use these. But if you're a scalper, you can basically take advantage of these and they give you just awesome trades, some of them. But then you need to have much more skills with these two tools to identify them correctly. And yeah, you have to use a proper risk management when you're using this. So what is a developing value area or a developing VA? A developing value area is a value area that is changing over time. Okay, um, so it's a slightly different. So I will rate this one as well. So we have the same developing thing for point of control, and it will be called developing POC, POC, or point of control. The developing point of control is a change of point of control over time. Okay, let's see that. So you need to basically change some parameters on the settings, which I will cover in the next video exactly, to get these things on your chart. And all of them are automatic. You don't need to do anything. You just when you set up your VPVR, you can take a couple of boxes and then you will see these things. Okay, you have again, you have arranged this white thing line that you see that is going up and down. uh, the higher one is the value area high, the lower one is the value area low, but it's developing value area. This is a 5-minute chart on Bybit. So it's a very like a low time frame price action, and it changes a lot. So, and you have the same thing with the point of control. You see now point of control aligns with this high volume node. Yeah, you have this developing value area low here. You have the developing value area high here. You see there is some volume being built up here. You had like a support. See price hold. This line is holding up the price. You see when price is inside the value area, it hits this, it goes back up and it rejects as point of control. These are just diamonds for me. It's just like it gives you so many scalp trades, good scalp trades. Obviously it doesn't work all the time, but when it works and you know how to build basically when to use them and not to use them, and you have other confluences lining up with these, and also to risk manage properly, then you can take advantage of all of these and become very consistent and also very profitable. So yeah, I think I covered all the terminologies as well. Yeah, I covered everything. So to recap, what we covered here was what is volume profile and why is it important. So volume profile is the volume on the x-axis. It shows the traded amount of volume at each price level. Why is it important? The bigger traders are you can read the bigger traders hands. You can find out which levels they are most interested in. So you also can kind of use this as a footprint and follow their footsteps. You can identify the highly basically probable and yeah, possible support and resistances, the turnovers, yeah, the turnarounds actually in the price and everything like that. And also you can read the context. The difference between volume profile and traditional volume profile covers the volume by price. What traditional volume covers the volume at each specific time range that you set, 1 day, 4 hours, 12 hours, 1 minute, whatever. Then you learn the HVNs, the high volume nodes, the low LVNs, the low volume nodes, the value area high, value area low, the point of control, and clearances. You also learn the developing value area, then developing value area high, value area low, the point of control as well. Those are, as I said, less important. And yeah, that was it for this video. For next video, we are going to cover different types of volume profile. We have different types of volume profile that I will cover, and it's very exciting. How to add it to your chart. I will show you exactly how to add everything to your chart and I will share my exact custom configuration that I use. So you can basically copy me and use the same uh, settings that I use. I don't use the default settings. Yeah, I tweak the settings and I have a setting that works much better. Then we will talk about the auctions. Uh, yeah, we will go through them. It's a bit more context things that we are going to talk about, and I will go into the real time examples. We'll go to the chart, and also I will put some examples, screenshots, and I will talk on them. So I hope this video has been very like informative for you. You learned something out of it. And I truly believe if you didn't know anything about volume profile, even if you did, you could get something useful from this video. So yeah, if you like this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I will share more videos. This was basically I'm sharing this stuff for free. A lot of people will charge for these basically tutorials. And I'm going to cover them in full details. You won't find this out in any other places. Basically, I'm going to cover everything. I will cover the trading strategies and everything in all detail for you. Just make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss anything. And yeah, with that, I conclude this video. Like the video if you liked. Yeah, hope you have a great day and see you next time. Bye.